Everyone, and welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thanks for joining me today. Let me just tweak that camera a little bit. There we go. Thank you so much for being here today, whether or not you're here live or if you are watching the replay or watching over on YouTube. So if you're live today, you will see the little red live button up the top in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll know that you're live with me. If you don't see that live button, then you are watching the replay here on Facebook. So thank you so much for coming back and watching the replay. And thank you to those of you who are watching over on my YouTube channel. Now, if you're over on my YouTube channel and you haven't yet subscribed, if you like what you see today and you'd like to see more videos and stay up to date with all of my latest videos, then click on the red subscribe button. It's down the bottom right-hand corner. I'd really appreciate that. And then while you're there, you'll see a little bell icon. If you click on that little bell, then you can choose how you'd like to be notified when I upload new videos. So that would be awesome. Thank you so much. All right, well, everyone is jumping on. I can see a few are joining me now. Hi, everyone. Great to have you here. I'll just bring this up on my iPad so that I can see all of your comments there. All righty. Let's get this all happening. Today I'm not running my computer as well. I'm only running my iPad as my second device today because my husband is working from home today. Normally he's in the office, but he had something on this evening, so he is working from home. So he's using the internet as well. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully the internet will behave itself today for me, but I'm not running my computer as well because I don't want to overload the system. So yeah, so there we go. So hi Laurie, hi Glenda, hi Tina, great to have you all here today. And Laurie is watching all the way from Ohio. Thank you so much for tuning in each week, Laurie. I really appreciate you jumping in all the way from Ohio. I know it's very, very late at night there. Or early hours of the morning. I think early hours of the morning, isn't it? I lose track of the time zones. There's so many different time zones, isn't there? So yeah, so here in Sydney at least, or New South Wales, we are on daylight savings time now. So excuse me. So it's just after 4 p.m. daylight savings time, and it is the 10th of October 2022. So how was everybody's weekend? Well, actually, before we jump into talking about the weekend, have you all got your cuppas ready? Today I'm drinking Darjeeling tea. It's a Twinings brand, and Darjeeling, it's a nice fragrant tea, not too strong. I don't like strong tea. I like my tea weak. And tell me in the comments if you're a tea drinker or a coffee drinker, do you like sugar in your hot drink, in your tea or your coffee, or do you like honey, or do you use artificial sweetener? Let me know in the comments. I use honey. I used to use white sugar. Well, also too, if you use sugar, white sugar or brown sugar. Or I know in America you call it something different. We have raw sugar, which is like the granulated brown sugar, so it's not as refined, not as processed. Then we have the brown sugar, which is a very thick, sort of clumpy, almost like sand, like wet sand sugar, which is very, very dark and heavy and very, very sweet. So yeah, and then we've got the white sugar, which is the refined sugar. So yeah, so I like honey in my tea, especially if I'm drinking chai. But I've switched to honey for all of my tea now. So it's hot today. Oh, hasn't had a chance to cool down yet. 1 a.m. there, Laurie. Oh, okay. Alrighty, so early hours of the morning. Speaking of early hours of the morning, so I really, really appreciate you coming. Thank you so much for being here, Laurie. Speaking of early hours of the morning, I may be a little bit dark and puffy today. I'm really tired today. I actually haven't felt this tired for a little while, but I went to bed extremely late or early, depends on your perception. But yes, early hours of this morning, I went to bed. I was up really late making a card for a very special someone. It's one of my daughter's birthdays next week. So yes, so I've been making a very special card and I didn't get it finished. But yeah, I was up late doing that. So if I'm a little bit dark or I'm a little bit fuzzy-headed today, please forgive me. But all good. Okay, Tina says she has black tea, no sugar, no milk. Oh, there you go. Great. I only have my tea black if I am having a herbal tea. And even then, sometimes I add honey. I don't know, I'm a bit of a sweet tooth. Was brought up a bit of a sweet tooth, brought up by a sweet tooth. So there you go. Didn't have much of a chance, did I? Glenda says she drinks white coffee, no sugar. Ah, okay. There you go. Is it strong? Do you like it strong, Glenda? Or do you have it weak, weak white? I like my tea weak white. And I think I've mentioned before, I don't drink coffee because my tummy doesn't like coffee and it makes me feel a little bit yuck. So I don't know if it's just another in food tolerance, add it to the list. It's all good. So I stick with all the teas, all the different types of teas, love it. All right, so, oh look, I even kept my little sachet to show you which one I was drinking today and I forgot to show you. So, and I also put it there today to remind me to ask you about your tea and coffee because some weeks I forget to ask you that. So we have got, oh, Glenda says strong and sometimes you drink herbal tea as well. Ah, awesome. There you go. So many different choices out there, isn't it? It's wonderful. Okay, so let me tell you about a couple of things that are happening in Stampin' Up before we get started on our crafting today. I've got a really pretty project today. We're using really pretty soft colors. And it's actually one I've been wanting to make for a while. I'll tell you about that in a minute. My voice is a little bit croaky too. Sorry for that, probably because I'm tired. But yeah, I wanted to let you know of a couple of things first. So as demonstrators, Stampin' Up demonstrators, we get our hands on a lot of the new product early, which is one of the perks of being a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So you might have seen last week on the 4th, we had a whole heap of promotions all launching at the one time, but there are some new products coming out. And for demonstrators, we are able to get them now on what is called pre-order. So we get to order them early before anybody else. Now I've got my order in. It hasn't arrived yet. I was hoping it would arrive this morning so we could have a play with that today, but it hasn't arrived yet. So we'll have to wait to play with that next week. Unless I squeeze in an extra live this week, but I don't think so. I've got a lot of appointments and things this week. I was hoping maybe I could squeeze in an extra one, but I might squeeze in an additional video, so we'll see. But yeah, so we've got some beautiful new products available to us and mine are coming. So I'll let you know about those in a minute. We've got a couple more people jumping on. Let me just say a couple more hellos. And I didn't finish talking to you about the weekend. Hey Jenny, great to have you here with us today. And Dimity's here too. Hi Dimity, great to have you with us as well. Fantastic. So we were talking about tea and then I forgot to talk to you more about the rest of the weekend. Normally we discuss our weekend and we have a chat and people let me know what you were doing on the weekend. So please share with me. What did you get up to on the weekend? Did you do anything special? I know that quite a few people in, hey Judy, how you going? Great to see you here today. We had a very wet weekend, especially yesterday, and there was the big Bathurst car race yesterday. So I know a lot of people stayed at home and were watching that. Some of my friends were actually up there, braving the mud, braving the rain, there to watch the race live. I am not into sports or racing or anything like that. So I spent the day in my craft room because my husband had the race on out in the lounge room all day. So I was, oh, there you go. Judy did some face painting on the weekend and church. Great. Fantastic. Busy, busy weekend. So yeah, so did you watch the race? Do you like car racing? My hubby does. He loves all sports. He comes from a very sporty family. So me, not so much. Although my mum used to like AFL, but I never really got into it. I liked the other things like horse riding, the outdoorsy things, horse riding, water skiing, snow skiing, roller skating, all of those sorts of things. They were my types of sports, none of which I can do anymore, unfortunately, because of my back. But yeah, I miss those things, but that's okay. I've got other things like craft that I can enjoy, so it's all good. Oh, Tina said she watched the Bathurst races all weekend. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was a good weekend to do it, wasn't it? Because of the weather. It wasn't great weather here. Glenda went to the pool and she did some crafting. Fantastic. I also went to the pool in the last few days, Glenda, and did some crafting too. So there you go, snap. We did some of the same things. So on Friday, I actually started at the hydrotherapy pool for my back. And I also have a neck issue and knees and ankles. So, well, one knee and one ankle, and they're on the opposite sides, which is really weird. So it kind of helps with everything, but the main issue is my back because it does affect my mobility. I guess my knee does too, and my ankle, but yeah, my back is the one that causes me most grief. Anyway, yeah, so I wrote a little bit about that, not here on my business page, but any of you who are my friends, on my personal profile, you probably would have read about that. So I'd been putting off in a nutshell, I'd been putting off going to the hydrotherapy pool for a really, really long time. My physio's been talking to me about it for a long time. Anyway, when I saw my pain specialist recently for the very first time, it was one of the first things she suggested. So I thought, okay, I better do something about this. So I finally did on Friday and just did some gentle walking in the pool. My physio said just to start off with walking, and I'll have a couple of sessions doing that first on my own. Then I'll have some proper therapy sessions with her there at the pool, and she'll give me exercises and things. So that was really good. So I'm going to do that each week now. But what I discovered too is when I went down the deep end where it's so I walked in water that was about 1.1 meter. I worked out the different depths and what was best for me and what I could cope with and what helped alleviate pain as I was walking. So that was good. Then I went down the deep end, which is 1.7 meters, and did some floating. And I discovered that vertical floating is actually best for me now with my pain. So I had a pool noodle and I had my arms over the pool noodle for flotation. And I mean, I can tread water and everything, but I just wanted to relax and just wanted to float. And it took away all my pain and it was amazing. Oh my goodness. I was just like, why did I not do this before now? I didn't realize I'd get so much relief in my entire body from all the pain. So, and I didn't feel any pain in my back. I think just gravity just does, I mean, gravity's great, keeps us grounded, right? But it can do terrible things to our joints. Well, as our joints and bodies start to, wear down a bit. Yeah, it doesn't help. But the weightlessness in the water, it was amazing. So I can highly recommend that. If any of you have never tried going in the pool and doing some floating. Now this is a hydrotherapy pool, so I guess you could float in any pool, but it's warm water, not cold water. I don't know if it would feel the same in cold water, but this is really warm water. They did tell me the temperature of it. I can't remember, but I'll just say when I got out, I felt quite cold, but in the water, it was beautiful and warm. But yeah, just that floating in that vertical position, yeah, and I just closed my eyes. The lifeguard was staying close by because I was the only one down the deep end, so he was keeping an eye on me. I think just in case, which was comforting to know actually, in case I ran into any problems, he was right there. But yeah, if any of you have any chronic pain or anything like that, I really recommend the hydrotherapy pool. It was amazing, and I'm just kicking myself now I didn't try it earlier. So anyway, it's going to be my new thing now, and I'm going to go each week. I'm hoping to be able to go twice a week, but I'm not sure if I can fit that in with my schedule, but start off small and build up. We'll see how we go. Yeah. So Dimity said she likes to drive cars and used to love sports, but she doesn't like watching the sports except for gymnastics. Oh, actually, I love watching the gymnastics. I do love that too. And when the Olympics are on, I like watching the horse jumping as well, and the dressage. That's beautiful as well. I don't like watching horse racing though. I don't like them whipping the horses. But I do like, yeah, jumping and dressage. I think those horses are so clever. And the riders are very skilled too. Yeah, Glenda says the water takes the weight off your joints. Yes, it really does. And I can't, if I had have really thought beforehand about the science behind that, I probably would have realized that, but I hadn't really. In my head, I just thought, oh, I've got to get swimmers on, and then I've got to try and get wet swimmers off and get dressed, and you know, and some of those things hurt my back at the best of times, just getting dressed and things. And I sort of thought wet clothing, and you know, I was putting all those my own what ifs in my head, not even having tried it, so I didn't really know. But you got to try it to find out, and I found out that I coped quite well. And there's little seats to sit on while you're getting changed, so I was able to sit down on the bench and get dressed, you know, without a problem. So yeah, it was really good. Yeah. Judy said, oh, it feels the same in the cold water for floating. She's talking about with for weightlessness and taking away pain. She's done both, but the warmth is better for pain. Oh, there you go. The warmth is better for pain and mobility. Temperature should be 32 degrees, no less. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said to me it was in the 30s, but I can't remember what temperature they said it was. It was 30 something, but I can't remember specifically what it was. Judy said, just go naked, problem solved. I think that might cause a whole heap of other problems. Oh, yeah, I won't be doing that. Oh, funny. So yeah. Also too, on Friday, when I got back from hydrotherapy and washed off and got dressed and all of those things, I filmed a new video. So I popped it on my YouTube channel, and I also did share it into my Facebook page on Friday. So if you didn't see it, check it out. It's about our stamps, the Stampin' Up stamps, and how to put those stickers on our red rubber cling stamps, because some people really struggle with that. And I had a request from a customer if I could film, because I mentioned it last week, and one of my lovely viewers and customers asked me if I could film a video on that. So I did. So I filmed a special video, showed the different types of stamps, and then showed how 2 different ways of putting the stickers on, the traditional way and then an easier way that I discovered through one of my team members. She showed me how to do it, and yeah, so now I can share that with others as well. So check that out if you haven't. It's on my YouTube channel. You can find all of my links here on Facebook. You'll find all of my links up in my bio. So if you go up to my bio, you see a link there that says Linktree. If you click on Linktree, it opens up my Linktree app, and it's got all my different links for my different things, and it explains to you what each one is. You just click on the button and it takes you through to that thing. So whether or not it's to my YouTube channel, to my blog, to Pinterest, to my shop, even to join with me, my latest classes are up there, all those sorts of things. So check out my Linktree. If you're over on my YouTube channel, I usually put all of the links in the video description. So I don't put so many links here on Facebook, because Facebook doesn't like a whole heap of links. So yeah. All right. Yeah, so check that out. Check that video out if you want to know, if you want some tips on how to put those stickers on. And I'm planning to do some more little tip videos as well. I have the next one ready to go. I've got everything out ready to do it. I was hoping to have time over the weekend, but I ran out of time because I was doing so many other things. But I'll hopefully get that one done this week. So yeah, so check that out. On Saturday, I had a class using the Texture Chic suite of products. Beautiful, beautiful projects in that class. We made 3 cards and 2 3D projects. I was going to say products. Projects, yeah. So 3 cards, 2 projects. And they were so beautiful. So if you, oh, there you go. Amber popped up the link for my YouTube channel here in the comments on Facebook. Thank you, Amber. That's awesome. I should give her a whole list. Have I given you a whole list of all my links, Amber? I need to give you a whole list of them so you can pop them in the comments easily for me. Oh, you love that video, Judy. You saw it. Fantastic. That's great. Thank you so much for watching. That's awesome. Oops. Oh, where did we go? There we go. Sorry, I just clicked on something and I lost you all there for a moment. Yeah, so we did that, and yeah, and I was catching up on a little bit of training over the weekend too. I've got some training videos I need to watch. There was a leadership, Stampin' Up has leadership events each year, and the one, sorry, itchy, the one that was on just recently in August was over in New Orleans, and so I couldn't go to that. So I've been catching up on all the replay videos of that, so I did a little bit of that over the weekend too, which is awesome. It's been really great and very helpful. So yeah, yes, so the link that Amber put in the comments is the link specifically to the video of putting the stickers on your stamps. So there you go. So it's right there for you. All right, let's talk about some new products. So these are the ones I started to talk about before. We have a new collection of products called the Fitting Florets collection of products, or Sweet collection. Look how beautiful these products are. Look at those sample projects. Aren't they just gorgeous? I can't wait to get my products. I actually want to make this card. I want to make this one. It's so beautiful. Only I didn't get the additional stamp set that they've stamped in the background, but I can use something else. I can substitute. So anyway, I'll show you. Here's all the individual products. So there is a bundle that is the stamp set and the dies, and we've got beautiful ovals in there as well. So there's that bundle. Then there's an additional stamp set. Then you've got some bling, and these are gold swirls. They've got like a little swirl. They're metal, and they've got like a little swirl pattern etched into them. And then you've got these beautiful papers. Look at this. Oh, I love this one. How gorgeous is that? And some of the dies coordinate with some of those designs on the paper too, so you can die cut them out as well. So they are available right now to demonstrators. They're going to be available to customers from the 1st of November, and you can order them all as a collection, although at the moment the gems are out of stock. They was due to come in today, and I didn't check before I jumped online today, so I'm not sure if they came in yet. If any demonstrators are here online and you have seen them today, if they've come online, let me know in the comments. But yeah, they were not available last week, but they were due in this week. So yeah, you can get all of the products. You can buy them individually, or you can get these two together as a bundle and save yourself 10%. So totally up to you which way you would like to. I know, Judy, I knew you'd love those papers. Look at this one. That would be your favorite, I reckon. And this one too. Look at this one down here. How pretty is that? I knew you would love those when I showed them. So they are available right now. Now you might be wondering, if they're not available to customers, why am I showing you? Well, some of my team members are on here, and it's great to have you all with me. Some of my customers are also here too. However, everyone can get their hands on these at the moment, and the way that you can do that is by joining my team. So there is an amazing joining special at the moment in the month of October 2022, and if you wanted to, you could add these products to your starter kit and get them right now. Now normally with the starter kit it costs it only costs $169, so that's the same price. Now usually with the starter kit you can choose $235 worth of product and you still pay $169. But at the moment, you can choose $283 worth of product, and you still get free shipping as well, and still only pay $169. So that whole collection is worth, so if you got everything in that collection, being if the embellishments have come in stock, the entire collection is $172.25. You could get that whole collection in your starter kit, and you're only paying $169. So already you're getting a discount off that collection. Plus, then you get to choose more because you can spend up to $283 worth of product, and you're still going to only pay $169. So it's an amazing joining special. You get free shipping on that order, on that starter kit order, and then from there on, you're going to get 20% discount on all of your Stampin' Up products. And not only that, you'll get offers like this where you will get to choose, order product early, and we also get our catalogs early, and we get to order early from the catalogs. This is our current annual catalog, and we've also got the mini catalog, so we get to see them early and we get to order from them early as well before anybody else. So there's lots and lots of perks. Now, not only that, but I have got a beautiful team of amazing, beautiful people. It's a very inclusive team. I like to call it my crafting community rather than a team. Even though we are a team, we are a team. We spend time together, we do things together, but it's my crafting community and our crafting community. It's called the Paper Craft Gems, and I call them that because, or I called my team that because I do believe that everyone is precious and valued, and I really strive to make everyone feel that in my team, that they are all precious and valued, that they have a sense of belonging in my team, in our crafting community. And they're just all such beautiful people, and we have a wonderful time together. We spend time together each month. I do team recognitions and team appreciations. I give out prizes and gifts. We craft together each month as well during our creative time, and I always record our team gatherings as well, so anyone who can't come along, we do that via Zoom, so anyone that can't come along can always watch the replay, so there's never any problem, and you're not committed to come every month if you can't make it there. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Judy. Judy's on my team, and she said, you sure do make us feel special. Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Yeah, and we just have a great time. There's other things we do throughout the year. We do team swaps for those that want to participate. We engage together in Stampin' Up demonstrator only events, and we've got a big in-person event coming up in November, and I've got 10 of my team members going to that, so that's super exciting. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be in Sydney next month. It's the first in-person event for 3 years, yeah, because we've had the last 2 years of having to do everything online. Yeah, so it's really wonderful. But anyway, if you would like more information about joining my special crafting community, then please get in contact with me, and I would love to give you more information. Now, if you've already made the decision and you're like, yep, I want to do that, that sounds amazing, I want to do that, I do have a join link. Again, you can find it in my link tree here on Facebook and on YouTube. It'll be in the description of this video. There is a join link that you can go direct to that join link and join with me and my stamping community. But if you still got a few questions, then please feel free to ask me. And just so you know as well, I love to answer people's questions because I like to be well informed before I make a decision, and you need to make those decisions for yourself if that's right for you. So there's no pressure in asking questions. I would prefer you to be informed, and then also to I would love to be able to help and support you in your crafting journey. Now, also to just know that when you do join with Stampin' Up and with my team, there is no pressure to sell product. So if you would like to just join for the crafting community to enjoy the discount yourself, then that is totally fine. You certainly don't need to to sell. Now I'll just let you know there is a quarterly minimum that Stampin' Up requires if you would like to remain active and continue with your discount. You have 3 months to do that. Now it works out at about $125 a month. You can either do that in small orders or in one big large order per quarter, totally up to you. But if you don't meet it, that's totally fine. If you don't meet it in that quarter, you get an extra month to make up any shortfall. And then if you don't meet that quarterly minimum, then it's not a problem. You just go back to being a customer and there's no exit penalties or anything like that. You don't need to officially resign. Stampin' Up will just basically remove you from the books and put you back as a customer. And then I'll be able to look after you as a customer. You would lose that 20% discount, however. But, you know, whatever works for you, and people's circumstances change too. So we understand that as well. So whatever you would like to do. Now, those of you that, of course, would like to remain as customers, that is okay as well. I would love to look after you as one of my VIP customers. And you know what VIP stands for? Very important people, because my customers are very important to me. So either way, whatever you would like, totally up to you. But starter kit is the best value. If you want the best value for your money, that is the way to go. Okay, so I will leave that with you. Have a think about that. If you don't have catalogs, if you're new to Stampin' Up or you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator and you would like a catalog, then please let me know and I'd love to get those out to you. I do have a catalog link as well. But you can just drop me a comment and then I can send you the link. Drop me a message, sorry, not a comment. Drop me a message and then I can get that to you. So yeah, so feel free to do that as well. All right, how about we get to doing some crafting? I will cover up the camera and we'll pop it down onto the desk and we will get crafting. So here we go. Bear with me for one moment. And I just do this so that everybody doesn't get dizzy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that was my watch. I said dizzy, not S-I-R-I. Oh, sorry, I've got to readjust my stand. Hang on one sec. There we go. I didn't get it quite right the first time. All right, let's see how that is looking. We've got some grid paper today because we are going to do a couple of little techniques and one of them is a little bit messy. So I made sure to put my grid paper down. Now I will just line that up a little bit better and just put okay. I was just putting my watch on Do Not Disturb and my phone as well at the same time because I forgot to do that. All right, here we go. So let's get this all straightened up so that we can get crafting. We need to go over this way a little bit, don't we? Try and get that in the middle. I like to have it in the middle because if you're like me and you're a little bit OCD about things, then if things aren't straight, it can be very annoying, especially if you're watching. Yeah, still haven't quite got that in the middle, but it should be okay. All right, there we go. All right, so anything that I'm showing you today, you can find it in my online store, and you can find my online store two ways. So you can go to my blog, which is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, or you can go to my website, mandywitherby.stampinup.net. I do like to, I'm still trying to get this straight, sorry. I usually direct everybody to my blog because there's lots of other creative inspiration there as well. And also you can find links to lots of different things there and my host code, my newsletter. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please sign up there on my blog for my newsletter too, because that way I can keep you informed, keep you up to date with all the latest Stampin' Up news and what's happening. And also too, if you are not already subscribed to my newsletter, when you subscribe to my newsletter, you will get an exclusive 3-project tutorial using products from the Annual Catalogue, and that is exclusive just for my newsletter subscribers. Nobody else gets that that tutorial. So yeah, so check that one out on my blog. And if you are shopping with me, I send out thank you cards to all of my customers who shop with me, and if you spend over $75 and you use my host code, then I will also send you a thank you gift as well to thank you for shopping with me. All right, the Annual Catalogue. We are going to be playing with some products out of this catalogue today, and I am really excited about this one because I had seen this originally in the catalogue when it first came out and I loved it, but I didn't get it straight away, and I just got it a couple of weeks ago, but it still hasn't had any ink on it. So today you are going to see me ink it up for the first time, which is super exciting. So we are going to be using the very beautiful Wildflower Path stamp set. So this is a standalone stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set. It has 16 different stamps in it, and you can put these stamps all together or stamp them individually and use them for lots of different occasions, and they're just so beautiful. But the thing that caught my eye was this beautiful card here. See this one here? I'll hold it up a little bit closer. Hopefully the camera will focus on it. Might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but it has got beautiful colors in it, and it's got these really soft, beautiful petal pink flowers in there. This paper looks amazing, and this really lovely embossing folder in there too. We've got some splattering there. We're going to make this today. I'm going to show you how to make this. However, I am changing it up slightly. I'm going to make it into a thank you card, and this one shown in the catalogue is actually a note card, but I'm going to make it into a full size card. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to do my label a little bit different too, and the layers are going to be just a little bit different, but pretty much it's that card. So I'm going to show you how to create that. Now, another couple of products that we are using. So this is on page 106 in your Annual Catalogue if you're looking for it. The other thing we're going to be using is that embossing folder. Now, there's a little sample of it here, which is the Elegant Eucalyptus 3D embossing folder. But you'll also find that on page 176 with all of our other embossing folders. So if you're looking for it in more detail, this one has 2 embossing folders in the set, and it does actually go through the mini machine. So we'll be using the mini machine today, and I'll show you how to emboss your cardstock with the mini machine. So yeah, so we're going to be using that one. And then we're going to be doing a couple of techniques, and I'm also going to be using the Designer Daydream designer series paper, 12 by 12 designer series paper. Now this one is a big pack. This one has it says 12 sheets, but that's actually a typo in there. I remember when we got the catalogue it was incorrect. It's actually got 48 sheets. It's a bumper pack, this one, of paper, and they're in all different patterns, but this one is a special pack because it's one of the host sets. So you can only get this with orders over $250. So whether or not that's orders of your own, or if you have a party or a workshop, or if you have a catalogue party, or you just gather orders from yourself and your friends and put them all in together. If you're going to do that, let me know, because I will set up a unique host code for you and your friends. And so then that way you will get the host rewards. And if you would like to get this paper, now that paper pack is valued at $52, but with orders over $250, you can get it for just $31. That's here in Australia. Okay, so but you can only order it if as a host reward with Stampin' Rewards. If you're not sure about Stampin' Rewards, it explains it here on page 177 of your 179, sorry, of your catalog. That it says here party sales, but that's also orders. So if you're placing large orders of your own, don't use my host code if that's over $250 because you will get Stampin' Rewards. Okay, so then from there, you get a percentage in Stampin' Rewards that you can then spend on product. And it can be any of these host sets, or it can be anything from the catalog that you like. And then it goes up. If the sales go over 500, 750, 1,000, the percentage goes up. And if it goes over 750, then you also get to choose one half price item. And that can be anything in the catalog. So yeah. Oh, the only thing that the half price item excludes is, hang on a sec. I always forget this. Items can be purchased with 50% off reward, include full price items and discounted stamped tools bundles only. Sweets, that's right, sweets and the standard size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine or any bundle that includes the standard size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine are not available as a half price item. Yeah, so anything else other than those things. So there you go. But yeah, so this is the card we're going to make. So let's get started. All right, so here is our beautiful stamp set. And I've got the embossing folder. Now the embossing folder's got the two, this is a set. It's got two different embossing folders in it. It's got the dropping down sort of eucalyptus, like they look like they're falling down. And then it's got like a little more of a bouquet sort of style. This is the one we're going to use here, this one. So I've already got that out ready to go. All right, but this is the stamp set. So we need to get the stamps out ready. I haven't taken these ones off the plastic. This is the first time I'm opening them. So excuse the crinkling of the plastic while I just remove the backing. There we go. I'll get rid of that one. Now you can keep them on that if you want to, or you can take them off and stick them straight into the case, and you've got the corresponding images there. Now all the words will be back to front, of course, if you stick them on there, because it's how they're going to stick down. But totally up to you if you want to do that, or you can just leave them out. This is printed exactly the same as the images there, so you can even just leave it like that if you want to, and then it's much easier. But we're going to get some of those out now, and it's a good idea with your photopolymer stamps to give them a good clean first before you use them, just to remove any of the manufacturing oils and things like that that are on them. So we're going to use this long one. I'll just take that out carefully. And we're going to use the little flowers, these ones, and we're going to use the thank you sentiment. There we go. I think that's, what else did we need? Is that all? Yes, I think that's all. Okay. But how beautiful are they? And there's beautiful, I love this one. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Isn't that beautiful? And this one's lovely too. My heart is smiling because of you. It's just so beautiful. And so these little flowers, you can match them up with the stems. So there's a couple of different ones there. You've got 1, 2, 3. I'm using, which one am I using? This one here. I think that's that one. Yes. The images on the cover are shown at 80% as well. So they're in real life, they're actually a little bit bigger than what you see on the cover. All right, so I'm going to use an H block for my long stamp. You'll notice that I'm popping my stamps down on paper and just letting them relax into their natural shape. Because they are photopolymer, they're quite stretchy. And if you happen to put them on your block in, which is great if you want to put them at an angle or something like that, but with these ones I want them to match up and I want the stem to be quite straight. So, and I want the sentiment to be straight. So I just put them on the paper and let them relax into their natural shape and then take the block to them and pick them up that way. Actually, we can use a smaller one for our thank you. Just make sure I get that straight on my block. There we go. All right, we're going to give those a little clean before we use them. And I'm just going to use my chamois, my Simply Chamois. I gave this a wash today. Believe it or not, this is clean. It's just stained, but it is actually clean. I've been using it on the weekend. It got really, really inky. Sorry if you don't like squeaky noises, just cover your ears for a moment. So give it a little clean and then dry it off onto your paper, whether or not that's grid paper or scrap paper that you're using. That just helps to remove any of that processing residue. You'll get a much better stamped image. Now the other thing is too, oh, that's actually got a little bit of ink coming out of there. I rinsed and rinsed and rinsed that. Turn it over. There we go. When you're stamping with photopolymer stamps, you will also get a nicer, crisper image if you use a Stampin' Pierce mat underneath them. If you don't have a Stampin' Pierce mat, that's okay. This is what the Stampin' Pierce mat looks like, and you can find that in my online store. And it's also in the Annual Catalogue in the tools section or the accessories section. But it gives you a bit of cushioning under these stamps because these stamps are fairly solid and rigid. So it'll give you a little bit of cushioning underneath them. So let me show you the paper again. You saw me show the pack of paper. This is the paper that we're actually going to be using. Now I cut some already to use for today, but when I cut it, because I cut it, I just put it in my trimmer and cut it. Didn't really look, you know, too closely at the pattern or the color or anything, just cut it. And then when I was cutting it, and I was thinking, hang on, this is playing with my eyes, because I thought either that or there's something wrong with my eyes, because I was seeing different colors in there, and I thought this was just mint macaron. But I thought, hang on a minute, what's going on? So I called Amber in to come and have a look. It's actually a gradient color. It wasn't my eyes. I wasn't going crazy. You might notice, and I don't know how well it's going to pick up on camera, but it is actually a gradient color. So you've got up here in this top corner like an old olive color, and then it grades down to mint macaron across the diagonal. There's a couple of sheets in this paper pack that do that. All the others are just a single color, but this is another one. See the one with the kite? See how it's lighter at the top there, and then it goes darker across the diagonal? Same sort of thing. So only with this one, I've got the, let me turn it that way. So we've got the dark color. See, it's got the darker color down here and it's lighter at the top. Yeah, I don't know if the camera can show that up, but in real life, it's subtle, but it's there. But I wanted the light portion for this card because I wanted to focus on the mint macaron, not so much on the old olive. So yeah, so when I cut the piece, then I had to work out which piece I was going to use today. So these are all my pieces. Now I'm going to put all of the measurements for you on my blog. This is going to be, I'm going to include this card in a blog hop that I'm participating in tomorrow. So all of the measurements, all of the product information and everything will all be over on my blog tomorrow. Okay, so I will pop a picture up of this in my Facebook page tomorrow, and then I'll have the link there over to the blog post so that you can go over there and get all of the measurements. But this is basically the only pieces that you're needing. We've got a mint macaron card base, we've got a piece of the designer series paper, crumb cake cardstock. I'm using some shimmery white cardstock, and then I've got another piece of crumb cake for the sentiment. And then we've got some, we're going to be using some baker's twine and some embellishments as well. We've just got 3 colors of ink. I've got mint macaron. This one is the Blushing Bride, but it's hard to tell because the label has faded. And I meant to test this before I stamped with it today, because actually both of these I haven't stamped with for a little while, so I have to test them before we start to make sure they've got enough ink in them. And then we've got Evening Evergreen. So they're the only 3 colours we need today. All right, so we're going to take out, we'll pop all of these pieces, well actually we'll leave that one out. We'll pop all those pieces to the side. We're going to start with we'll start with the sentiment, that's the easiest, and then we will do the stamping on the shimmery white. I'll just put a little bit of grid paper over the top of my Stampin' Pierce mat, and we'll do our sentiment first. Now I'm going to punch the end of my sentiment with the Lovely Labels Picker Punch, so I'm going to do that first, and I've already cut this to the right size to fit into that punch, so that it fits along those little grooves, because we've got 3 size grooves there. You've got 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch. I write them on my punch so I don't forget. So you've got 3 different sized grooves there, which makes it really easy to slide your cardstock in and line it up. And then I like to just turn it over anyway, just to make sure, and then just punch. So then we've just got a little fancy end there. Okay. I'm going to leave the other end straight because we're going to be putting that up against the edge of our card, most likely. I'm going to stamp our sentiment in Evening Evergreen. And because I haven't used this stamp before, I'm just going to test it on my grid paper. Because also too, I want to make sure I've got enough ink in my stamp pad. That's better. There we go. So I'm going to stamp it towards the end where I have the decorative edge. There we go. And the decorative edge is at the left hand end. All right, so we'll clean that one off. And now we'll get to the fun part. So I'll pop this to the side for now, and we'll use that later. Let's turn that over onto the dark side. Onto the dark side. Trying to keep this side as clean as I can for as long as I can, but it's starting to get a little bit icky. All right. Now for this piece, this is the one, this is a shimmery white, and this is the one that we are going to stamp our beautiful design on. So I'm going to use that Evening Evergreen again, and we're going to stamp some of the stems. So I might test these first just to make sure I got that residue. That looks nice and dark. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. They stamp beautifully. Now I'm just checking. I don't know if I picked up the right one, you know. I didn't. I've got the wrong one. I just realized that's not the one that I wanted. I put the wrong one on my block. It's this one that I wanted. This one. I've put the wrong one on my block. Lucky I did a test first before I stamped that. All right, we'll swap that out for the other one that we need. Let's try that again. It's this one. There we go. Yeah, the leafy one. Because the other one has the flowers the bigger flowers that match up with it. And I wanted to use the little flowers with this one. So just give that a clean over here. There we go. Okay, dry that off and let's ink this one up. Now this just fits on the block diagonally. Just making sure I get all of that. Let's test that one now. That's the one we wanted. It's a lot more delicate. It's a thinner stem. That's the one we wanted. Now we're going to have grid paper underneath because we are going to stamp off the edge a little bit. So I'm going to start at the side here first, and I'm going to stamp off the bottom of the cardstock. Okay, so there's one. We're going to make them different heights. So just turn my paper a little bit this way. And then this one is going to be a little bit lower. And then this one's going to be tall. There we go. Okay, so now we finish with that colour. And let me just check all of your comments if I've missed anything. Oh, hey Zaina, how are you? Hey Julie, how are you? Great to have you from all the way from the UK, Zaina. How's the weather over there at the moment? Must be starting to warm up over there now. Oh no, cool down, isn't it? Because I think you're the opposite of us. We're starting to warm up over here. I'll just clean my stamp. Ooh. There we go. Alrighty. It's a good idea to clean your stamp straight away, as I always say, just because it will help to alleviate that staining a little bit. Oh, okay, so Megan LeCornu's here. I don't think did I say hello to you already, Megan? I can't remember now. I've been saying hello to so many people that I've forgotten who I've said hello to. So hello, if I didn't already say hello to you. Oh, Tina said she checked for us for the swirls, the metallic swirls that come with the new suite, and she said that they're still unavailable at the moment. Thanks so much for checking, Tina. That's awesome. Thank you. I didn't see your comment before, so I'm glad I went back to check. Hey Martha, how are you? Great to have you here. And we've got Janelle too. Hey Janelle, how you going? You're a bit late today. That's okay, not a problem. We are just getting started on our stamping. All right, so we've got our stems stamped. Now we're going to bring in our Blushing Bride ink. And this is the one I haven't checked. I haven't used this one for a little while, so I need to just test this one to see if I've got enough ink in my ink pad. Oh yes, beautiful. Okay, good. Good. Now, let me work out which way these line up. Pretty much, I think with these ones, you can stamp them anywhere with these ones. Let me have a look in the image in the catalogue, how they've stamped them. So they've got them sort of stamped like that across the, let's see. Yeah, you can kind of stamp them any which way with this particular stem. So we'll stamp these ones. Oops, I've got a little bit of ink, extra ink on my block there. Just wipe that off because I don't want to get that on my card. There we go. So we'll stamp these ones across like this. There we go. Oh, so pretty. And we'll do these ones up here like that. And these ones down here like that. There we go. Look at that. How pretty is that? So pretty. Oh, it's just getting light, is it? Awesome. Okay. So I had a few crisp days with lovely sunshine. And it's wet at the moment. Okay, and it will be this afternoon, apparently, according to your phone. Oh, okay, so you've got a bit of rain over there at the moment. We're having a bit of a rainy time over here at the moment too. There's been a lot of flooding around about, actually. We've had a lot of rain this past week. I think they're saying that there's going to be more again the end of this week too. Today it's been, well, here in Sydney anyway, it hasn't been raining this morning, but it has come over a bit overcast, so we might get a bit more this afternoon. All right, so that's that. Now we are going to add some, let me just see. Yes, I think we add that at the end. Okay, cool. Well, that's all that we're doing with the stamping. So that is really easy. That's as easy as that was. Okay. we are going to do some embossing. So I'll pop this aside for the moment, and then we're going to do a technique with the embossing folder, and then we're going to do another technique after the embossing folder. So I'll pop that one to the side. Now, with the embossing folder, we're going to do a little bit of inking. So let's just see. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add some ink to, when you see the embossing folders, usually the side that has got the Stampin' Up logo is the front of the folder. Okay, so we are going to use our blending brushes to add a little bit of mint macaron ink to the embossing folder. Now you can do this with daubers. With daubers you'll get a more sort of a defined deeper color, and often too if you're wanting to go over the design itself you'd use your daubers. However, because the daubers are a small round sponge, you're likely to get heavier blobs of ink here and there, whereas with the blending brush you get it is much softer and you get a nicer finish. We used to have foam rollers, and this technique I used to use with the foam rollers, and that was a really great technique, but we don't have those, or the sponge rollers I should say, but we don't have those anymore. So now we just use the blending brushes. So what we're going to do is we're going to rub some of this mint macaron ink across this folder. Now this is just going to be a subtle color on the cardstock as we run it through the embossing folder. Okay, it's not going to be super dark. If we wanted it super dark, we would have just used the that color of cardstock, the mint macaron cardstock. But we're actually adding the color to the shimmery white cardstock that we just stamped on. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's all I'm going to add. So can you see that we've got a little bit of color there now? So these blending brushes, these are awesome. They come in a set of 3. I'm just having a look to see. Oh, I've got color on all of mine now. I was just having a look to see if I have any that are still clean. But no, I have color on all of them now. They come in a set of 3 for $21. Now I have, I've got a lot of them. Like I've got a whole heap here, and I basically have one for my dark blues, my lighter blues, my greens, my reds, my pinks, my dark oranges, my browns, my yellows, and I've got a black one there too. But you can see, like I don't have one for every single color, but it's kind of for the color families in terms of depth of color. So yeah, so you don't need one for every color. Now I believe that you can wash them out. However, because they have thousands of tiny little fibers or hairs, little brush hairs, they do take quite some time to dry, and you need to make sure they're completely dry before you use them in on another color ink pad. Okay, I don't bother with that. I just buy more brushes to use with more different colors. So, but yeah. And this is just how I store them. I find that that works. There's lots of different storage solutions for your blending brushes, but I find this is this works best for me, and it's great because it doesn't take up too much space. This is just a pen holder that I got from the local stationery store. All right, so let's continue with this. Now, hopefully that ink hasn't dried. I might give it a little bit of a huff. So I'm just breathing my warm breath on there, just to moisten that ink. I'm going to put the embossing folder in there, and I'm going to put the embossing folder in there so that that design is going to be coming up from the bottom. So not hanging down from the top as it shows you on the front of the packet, but actually coming down from, coming up from the bottom, so that it kind of matches in with the stamping that we've done. Okay, so you're going to pop it in like that. I should have got my machine out first before I did that, because now I've got to hold it still because it's got the ink on it while I get my machine out. All right, so this is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I did have my big one out. It is out beside me, but I'll show you how to do this in the mini because these embossing folders are made to go in the mini. So for embossing, this particular embossing folder is a 3D embossing folder. So we want our number 1 plate, and then we need our special embossing plate, which I'm trying to get out of here. Out of the packet while I am holding this closed still. So, there's instructions on each of the plates that tells you which one to use with the different types of embossing folders. So the grey ones are for embossing. So you've got a thicker one there, which is the light grey one for the ordinary embossing folders. And then the thinner plate is for the 3D embossing folders because the 3D embossing folders are thicker. All right, so we're going to put our embossing folder in. Hinge first. Always put your hinge in first so that you don't damage your embossing folder. And then that dark grey plate on top. And when you're embossing with, and then we're just going to crank that through. When you are embossing with the large machine as well, it is also the dark grey plate. Okay, so it's basically the same. The base plate, your embossing folder, and then the dark grey plate. So it will work the same way with both. All right, and now when we take that out, we have got a beautiful soft mint macaron background. And then if you see that detail, it looks white because the ink that I applied just sat on the top surface. It didn't go down into the grooves where that embossing has occurred. So isn't that just so beautiful? Just really soft and pretty. All right, so let me just move this machine out of the way now. And we'll pop all of these away. All right, and then to clean your embossing folders, all you need to do is run it under the tap. Run it under the water till it runs clean. You can clean them with a damp cloth as well if you would like to. Just be mindful of where the depressed or the image goes down into the plastic. Make sure that you get all the ink out of that. I like to just wash mine under the tap. I find that is the easiest way. So I'll leave that over there. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do a bit of ink splattering. So we are going to use the, let me just double check which one we are splattering with. I think we're splattering actually with the mint macaron. We'll do a little bit of that first because I think, not that one, I think that's going to be too dark. I'm going to move these for a moment while I do my splattering because I don't want to get ink on those because I use them each week. Okay, so what we're going to do our ink splattering is we need an ink pad. I'm going to grab a clear block and I'm going to use one of my water painters. So the water painters, they come in a set of 3. You've got a fine tip, a standard tip, which is the one we're going to use today, and then you've got this big wide brush tip. Whoop, mine's getting a little bit manky because I use it all the time. I use this one especially for sealing my envelopes because I don't lick envelopes anymore because of, you know why. We stopped doing that a couple of years ago. So I use this one all the time for sealing my envelopes. So, all right, so I'm going to use the wide tip one, and we're going to do a little bit of ink splattering. Now I'm going to get a little bit of water into the tip of my brush first. So I'll just give that, there we go, give it a squeeze and just get a little bit of water flowing there, but I don't want that to be wet when I put my ink on it. So I'll just dry that back off for a minute. All right, I'm going to just stamp my ink onto the corner of my block. There we go. You can also do this with the ink refills as well, and you will get a more like a stronger color. And then I'm going to now squeeze that water again with the water painter into the ink. There we go. I'm going to make like a watercolor. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you can take anything, a pen or whatever you've got near you, and we're just going to do, oh goodness, I can feel that tapping on my face. We're just going to tap and splatter some of that ink. Let's pick up a little bit more. We're going to tap and splatter some of that ink over our image to just give a very soft little splatter there. Oh my goodness, it's going everywhere. I'm glad I moved my my other little things there. There we go. Okay, can you see that there? Can you see that splatter? Just gives an added little bit of texture to your image. And I've just done it in the lighter color. You could do it in the Evening Evergreen if you wanted to, if you wanted those splatters to be a little bit darker. But I just did it in the lighter color just so it was keep it soft. I wanted to just keep it all soft. All right, so then with your water painter, you just can clean it off on a cloth or onto your paper, whichever works best for you. There we go. And then just wipe off your block with a damp cloth. Mine's actually not damp, mine's dry. Or you can use your chamois. I'll just get the excess ink off there with my chamois. There we go. You can even use the chamois to clean your water painters as well. Okay, so that is done. All right, now it is time to start putting everything back together. Together. Let's bring this back. Oh, I'm getting my words all mixed up. There we go. So I'll put those back there. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do first is we've got a couple of steps here to do. We need to attach these two pieces together, and we're going to wrap some twine around those. So we'll do those two pieces, and then we're going to attach our designer series paper to our card base. Now our card base is mint macaron, and I've just cut the designer series paper the exact same size as the card front. Okay, so we might do that bit first, and I like to use multi-purpose liquid glue for this because it gives me that little bit of wiggle time, so that if I don't line it up straight away first time, which often I don't, then I've got that time before that glue dries to get that lined up really well. Oh, I just stuck my finger in the glue. Okay, let's pop that back in my holder. That glue's getting a little bit low. I'm going to have to... how cute is that design on the back with those little bicycles? So cute. But we're using the mint macaron side today. All right, so I'm just going to line that up. Oh, I've already got some glue oozing there. I was a little bit heavy-handed with my glue. And then before that glue dries, I like to stand it up when I'm doing edge-to-edge layers. I like to stand it up on the ends and make sure I've got it lined up, and then you can press it down nice and firm. There we go, and I saw that I had a little bit of glue oozing at that end. And at that end too, I think, by the feel of that, because that's stuck to there. All right, so that's our card base ready to go. And then for the inside, you can either leave it like that, and you could write on that color because you'll be able to see it on that color. But I usually like to have a white insert on my card, so I will put a white insert in there. And then I'll stamp my image. You might like to put a little bit of decorative something. You might like to stamp some more of those little flowers just down in the corner or something like that to decorate the inside of your card. We probably won't do that today because we probably won't have time. I'll probably do that a little bit later. All right, so then we're going to line up these two layers, and we're going to pop those together as well. So I'll bring my glue back in. And I'm going to line them up like this so I can see where to add my glue, because the crumb cake is shorter. I've cut that so that it's shorter than the shimmery white. Come on, glue. Now, if you didn't have shimmery white, you could do this just with the standard basic white cardstock. There we go. Flip that back over. Did that glue come out along the bottom? Oh, hardly. I better add a bit more glue along there. Really need to open up a new glue bottle, I think. Oh, did I empty it? Maybe. Oh no, we've got a little bit left. We've got a little bit there. It's getting low though. All right, so now I'm just using my grid paper to line that up, or just use a straight edge if you've got some scrap paper underneath you. And I'm just creating a little 2mm border, top and bottom. And that layer, that crumb cake layer, is just 3mm shorter on each end than the shimmery white. Just slide that along a little bit. There we go, that's better. Okay, so line that all up. See, this is why the glue is good, because you can slide it all around before it adheres too tightly. There we go, and press that on. Okay, now we're going to wrap our twine around. So I'll grab that twine out. I didn't get my baby wipes out today, and I've got sticky fingers now. Usually I always have my baby wipes out ready, and I forgot today, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to use Baker's Twine Essentials Pack, and we're going to use the white twine. So if you haven't seen the Baker's Twine, this is an awesome pack of twine. You get 5 colors in there: basic white, basic black, basic gray, or actually basic gray or gray granite. That might be gray granite. Very vanilla, and crumb cake. And these are great for lots and lots of different projects. There we go. All right, so we are going to wrap this around a few times. Now for me, I usually have all of my, well, most times, I have my designs usually set off to the right-hand side, but in the design of this one in the catalogue, it was actually set to the left side, and I was tempted to change it. And then I thought, no, do it like the catalogue and do it a bit different. I mean, do it a bit different to what I would normally do it, is what I meant. All right, so we're going to wrap that twine around. You can do it twice, you can do it 3 times. I like to crisscross it over a little bit, and then we're going to tie. Now I'm going to move mine down a little bit lower. Then we're going to tie a bow at this end. So we will cut that there. Oh, let me find my sharp snips. I've got sharp snips and not so sharp snips. My not so sharp snips get used for my gluey sticky stuff, and my sharp ones get used for ribbon and cardstock. All right, so now we're going to tie that. Now, I didn't ask, does anybody else have this stamp set? I should have asked that before, the Wildflower Path stamp set. Do you have this one? Have you tried this stamp set before? And I'll just cross those over slightly. There. Just crisscross them over. Crisscross, crisscross. There we go. All right, so we'll tie a bow here. Or this embossing folder for that matter, actually. This embossing folder is beautiful too. There we go. Okay, so we've got our twine. I'm just going to line that up a little bit. Got a little bit of a crisscross happening. Not quite so much as what I wanted. I'll just fiddle with this for a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's get this right. Move over there. There we go. That's where I want you. Okay. All right. And then this is going to go on here, but before I adhere this, and this is going to be popped up on dimensionals, but before I do that, I want to check the placement of my label first, because I was going to put my label this end, but in the project in the catalogue, the label is up here. Now, I didn't want to put it across at a diagonal, and I'm not putting my layers at a diagonal. I'm putting everything straight, but they have it on that end. So I might need to banner the other end, but I'll just see, because if I have that there and then the bow's up that end, that might look a little bit funny. So I think I will need to move it up here, and I'll need to move that twine across a little bit so that that bow is a bit more to the left side. There we go. So you do all these little fiddly bits before you attach your layers together. There we go. Kind of don't want my twine to be like exactly all like in a row, like straight sort of thing. And then we can pop that there. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to need to, we are going to need to banner the other end as well. So thankfully I didn't chop the end off that. Okay, so what we're going to do is that little piece that I punched out before, when I punched that end, I kept that little piece that was punched out at the end. And I've shown this tip before. So that's the little piece that came out of the end of the cardstock, okay? I kept it because I thought just in case I decide to banner the other end of this label, which I'm about to do. So I can now use this as like my little measuring stick. I can line it up on here, and this will show me the shape when I turn this around and punch the other end, and it'll show me exactly where I can line this up so that I've got even space on each end of the sentiment. So it's a bit hard to see with this color, so I'm trying to line that up. So about there. So I've got the straight edge of that on the right hand end, and I'm going to put a little pencil mark there, and then the cutout or the fancy edge is on the inside to mirror this one. Okay, so I'm putting a pencil mark there, and that is where I'm going to cut my cardstock. Then I know when I put it into the punch, I know exactly how much cardstock it's going to cut away when I punch it. Okay, so trim that there, and then, love my trimmer. Couldn't live without my trimmer. Couldn't craft without my trimmer. So then we'll pop it back into the punch. So I'm turning it around the other way now, sliding it back in that groove and still flipping it over to see. Now it's a little bit short and I can't quite reach it. So what I'm going to do is make a little handle. So I've got some sticky notes over here. I've got some little skinny sticky notes, and if you don't have this size, you can just cut your ordinary size sticky notes down to a thinner piece. I'm going to pop it on top of this one, or you can pop it underneath and use that as a handle. So I'm going to slide that in and see how I'm holding it with that. And I just line that up against the end. Whoops, make sure that that's lining up. Sorry, it's not, hang on a minute. There we go. That's it, got it. And then punch. And there we go. So there we've now got our little banner, our little label banner, or that's got those decorative edges each, decorative ends on each edge. Oh my goodness. Decorative edge on each end. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, words today. Goodness. All right, and then I can pop that in there. Good. All right. So now we can put this up on dimensionals. I'm happy with that now. I'm ready to go with that. So let's pull out our dimensionals. There we go. I'm going to use my large ones, and I've got one sheet that's nearly finished, and I've got my spare sheet there ready to go. Alrighty, so we're going to pop down a whole heap of these dimensionals to make sure that everything is well supported and there's not going to be any saggy bits. There's another one. Another one, and I will save my edge pieces because I do cut those up and use them as well, but just to be a little bit quicker today, I'm just going to break into a new packet. Oh, I missed one over here. There we go. Okay, good. All right, so now we'll remove all of those backings. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Stampin' Up Stampin' Dimensionals, these are mounting foam and they're cut into little hexagonal shapes on the sheet, and they're double-sided adhesive foam. So they've got the little paper backings on the back, and you just remove those to adhere your piece. Now this is going to go edge to edge, and we're going to just see a little bit of that designer series paper top and bottom. There we go. And then we're going to also adhere our label with, well actually, maybe I should put that at an angle. It's going to be a bit hard to see with that big bow, isn't it now? The positioning of the bow. Unless I put the bow over the top. I mean the sentiment over the top of the bow. Could make the loops bigger. I like to sit it down here usually. Usually if I have a tag at an angle, I wouldn't normally have it up like that. I would normally have it hanging down like that, but I think I want everything straight on this one. So I think I'm going to have it there like that. Can always tuck that bow under the edge there. Yep. All right, so I'm going to use some minis this time. Or in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use some of those edge pieces that I mentioned. Here we go. Oh, I've got another piece up here. Where is it? Up here. Oh, I'm just reaching across. This one here. This has got all my little bits on it. So I keep all of these little edge pieces and I cut them up to use for smaller elements. And because I'm going to be straddling this twine, this is a great time to use some of these little edge pieces, because if I put a full size dimensional along the edge there, it's going to sit all wonky and crooked on the twine there. But if I just use these little edge pieces, then hopefully I can straddle that twine and this will sit nice and straight. There we go. All right, so we can just peel those off. Now I can see, but you probably can't see on camera because I use that shimmery white cardstock. We've got a beautiful shimmer coming through on that cardstock through that design that we've stamped and embossed on that cardstock. And through the, I'll hold it up in a moment and see if I can catch that shimmer. All right, so we're going to pop our little thank you. Should I put it at a slight angle, do you think? No, I think I like it straight. I think for this one I like it straight. All right, so we'll just pop it in there near the bow. There we go. And then we're just going to trim up the ends of these bows. I'm still going to have them fairly long, so they will sit off the edge of the card, but that's okay. because when the card is standing up on display, well, hopefully it will be standing up on display, then they'll just hang off onto the counter or the bench or whatever it is that it's displayed on. I like to always roughen up the ends of my twine just to add a little bit of texture, and just basically separating the fibers and teasing them out a little bit. There we go. So now we just need to add our bling. Yeah, that sits quite well just there. And I don't think it matters too much that that bow overlaps just a little bit, because you can tell that that says thank you. All right, so bling. We have got this beautiful bling here, which is the Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Gems. Now, I don't have the ones that they've actually used in the catalogue, but these are the same colour. These are Pool Party. These ones are from the mini catalogue. And they come in the 4 different colours, but the Pool Party ones are the ones that I want to use for this project, because I think they, well, you know, we've used mint macaron. Actually, are they mint macaron or are they Pool Party? Good question. Let's have a look in the catalogue and see what the catalogue tells us. So I don't think it tells on the packet. Does it say on the packet? No, it doesn't say what colour they are. But I think if we have a look in here, this one went with the gnomes. The gnome suite. What was the gnomes? This one goes with this one. They are Pool Party, so not mint macaron. So Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, Pacific Point Pool Party. Yeah, but Pool Party and mint macaron are fairly close. Pool Party is just more blue and mint macaron is more green, but I think they will go quite well on here, and they just give a little bit of contrast. So I might go with the small ones, I think. Yes, good. Oops. So we'll just add a few of these here and there. They're pretty. Now we could add a couple more of those. I've got heaps of them here. How about we add some more? We'll see. Less is more sometimes, so you just have to gauge it and see. I don't want to overwhelm the, actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it with the 3. I don't want to overwhelm the image because I want to keep it soft and pretty. Maybe I'll move that one. If I move that one down to here. Yep, that's better balanced. There we go. So there we go. So that is the finished project. Now, I'll just see if I can pick up that glimmer from the, or the shimmer from the shimmer paper. Don't know if that's going to show up on camera very well, but it's there and it's really beautiful. So how pretty is that? So let's have a look at the one in the catalogue again and just see how I've changed it up just a little bit. I've probably added a little bit more mint macaron to the embossing folder as to what they did, but it's hard to tell in photos because the colours do get blown out a bit and washed out a bit. But there you go, same sort of, they have actually got 5 on there. I've only done, of the embellishments I should say, I've only done 3, but you could add more if you wanted to. So there you go, that's my project for today. So what did you think about that one? Do you like that one? Oh, Judy said very pretty. Oh, she had to answer an email. That's okay, no worries. Oh, Judy said sold. She loves that. It's really beautiful, isn't it? So if you're looking for that stamp set, it's in the annual catalogue on page 106. And it's a very pretty stamp set and very easy to work with. Like these just match up with the stems so beautifully. You can do so much. Look, you've even got some grass or reeds there as well. You've got these different flowers here too that will match up with these stems here on this stem here. You've got some additional leaves there as well, so you can use these as standalone. You've got this little floral bloom here as well. You can use the leaves with that little floral bloom. Yeah, and these ones can be used with either of the stems. So there you go. So I hope you really liked that one today. we will finish up. I'm going to pop the camera back up to my face so that I can say goodbye to you face to face, as I always like to do. So bear with me for one moment and I will cover up my camera. Here we go. Oh, I forgot to flip. There we go. We're on the roof and back to front. That happens sometimes. So many things to remember when I'm transitioning the camera that sometimes I forget a step and we end up upside down and back to front. But you'll forgive me, won't you? There we go. Oh, get that camera right. I think I haven't done that clamp up tight enough. I think that's what it is, and it's slipping. Sorry, everyone. Bumping the camera a little bit there. How's that? Oh, I feel like we're wonky. We are a bit wonky, aren't we? Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Okay, there we go. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get it right. So there we go. There's, oh look, can you see that shimmer on there now? A little bit better. You get that shimmer? It's really hard to pick up the shimmer in the lights. Can you see it? Anyway, it's very pretty card, isn't it? So thank you, Stampin' Up, for our beautiful card today, because this was inspired by the card in the catalogue. And so those beautiful concept artists that work for Stampin' Up have created this project or designed this project, and then I've just tweaked it a little bit. But just so really easy to create, but just so effective, using a couple of different techniques with the inking of the embossing folder and the splattering of the ink using your water painters and a little bit of ink. Really easy to do. So there we go. Very pretty. So if anybody has got any questions, pop them in the comments. I'd love to answer them for you. Thanks, Dimity. Thanks, Julie. I'm glad you all like that. It's really beautiful, isn't it? I feel like I need to go this way a little bit more because I feel like it's out of shot. Yeah, so does anyone have any questions about any of those products or about anything to do with Stampin' Up? Remember too that we've got the joining special at the moment, so you can choose up to $283 worth of product and only pay $169 during the month of October, and you get free shipping on that starter kit offer as well. So you're getting $114 worth of product for free in the starter kit. So that is an awesome, awesome deal. So you could even throw in this stamp set as well, and the embossing folders as well. You could pop those in too, and you could pop in the some inks. So I had the three ink pads today. Hang on, I can't hold everything up. I had the 3 ink pads today, and the pink one is the Blushing Bride, Evening Evergreen, and Mint Macaron. And then we had the bling as well, and the twine. So there's the bling and the twine. So there you go. And then there's the punch as well, but you don't need the punch if you don't want the punch. You could add the punch as well. But even with the ends of that banner, you could leave them just squared off, or you can even snip them at an angle with your scissors, which is what they did in the catalogue actually. I just wanted to use a fancy punch because I like fancy punches. I think they're pretty. So there you go. Yeah, lots of different things you can do. And that splattering technique is a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. A bit messy. Make sure you cover your workspace when you're going to splatter. So yeah. All right, no questions. Everybody is all good. All right, well, if you think of any questions that you would like to ask me, feel free to either pop them in the comments here in the video, or you can send me a message. You can send me a direct message, or you can send me an email at mandyspapercraftcreations@gmail.com. So remember to go to my blog and sign up for my newsletter so that I can keep you up to date. You'll see at the top of my blog on the right hand side on my home page, you'll see a little button there that you can click on, or a little image there. You can click on it to subscribe to my newsletter. And then that way I can stay in contact with you and keep you updated on all of the Stampin' Up news and upcoming events and things like that. And I do give you some creative inspiration in my newsletters as well. And yeah, all sorts of things. And you'll get that free tutorial as well when you sign up for my newsletter. Special exclusive tutorial only for my email subscribers. So I hope you all have a great week. Stay safe in the wet weather. If you're in the wet weather here in Sydney or on the east coast of Australia, stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you all again real soon. And remember, I'm going to have another new tips video coming out very soon. I won't commit to what day because I've got a big week this week, but I'm hoping to get it done either Thursday or Friday. See how we go. Fingers crossed I get it done. But I've got it there ready to go for you, so watch out for that as well. But until next Monday, I look forward to seeing you all again next Monday at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And until then, happy crafting everyone. Bye.